shout out to Chantel Simone on YouTube for giving this feedback on this particular clip. This is her opinion. I just saw a separate clip of Shera Sevens speaking on this, the same one that she's responded to. But I liked the way that she broke this down. I wanted to actually add on to what she said in addition, my own perspective of what I see here. My condolences to Shera Seven and her family, first and foremost. Um, y'all already know where this is about to go, and if you don't, I got you covered. Just tap in.
Again, I'm done, and I said that on every live. I said, if I've ever become a widow, I'm never remarrying again. How long was I married for? 20 years. The girls are fine. They're healed. They're good. We're moving forward. And part of the reason why they can heal and move forward is because I didn't tell everybody when it happened. I just let people do all their talking and trolling and all this kind of stuff. But at that time, those things were happening to us. And so we just really didn't talk about it because crazy people on the internet. Yes, I'm a widow now. He was older, much older. We had a big age gap relationship, but we were married for 20 years. Not be ever remarried. He was a provider. I never had to pay no bills. He was a good guy.
Let me stop it real quick. Because I know she has a lot of followers. Mainly, majority of them are women. And when I started to get hip to her, I always felt like her conversations and her thinking pieces were designed to keep women single or to give them this illusion that every single man on the planet was a billionaire, right? And that if you're not getting that from this person, they're not worth it. You know, so for me, it's like you hear some of her talking points, it would utterly disgust you, while she would have things in there that would have some common sense to it. Some of that shit just was straight up crazy. I'm gonna say that. The age gap thing is what I wanted to address before I continue on with this. For all y'all that keep on saying that it's creepy for a man to date younger, well, where's your energy for her? You heard it right there. He was 20 years older than she was. So what does that mean? Does that mean he was a creep? And I mean that in the most respectful way, since you do everything in your power to try to shame men for it. But she was a willing participant, had kids with him and everything. I just wanted to add that in there real quick.
And he will be missed. Sprinkle, sprinkle.
No, that part is what got me, because you're married to someone for 20 years, and when the only thing you're going to focus on is the fact that you didn't have to pay no bills.
Yeah.
And I mean, all right, let me say disclaimer. Allegedly, everything in this video, it's my thoughts, my opinions, my feelings, my channel. I understand that her supporters are so loyal to her that you cannot even disagree, you cannot criticize anything without them getting in their feelings. Hear me out, y'all. And then also, I'm going to acknowledge that this is just a clip of what seems like to be a TikTok live. So maybe she did go into details about his characters, his morals, his values, his decision-making skills, his discernment. How was he as a father? I didn't know she had 2 girls. This video is making me realize that she has children. How was he as a father? Was he a good father? Was he a responsible man? Was he a reliable man? The only thing you want to hyper-focus on is the fact that he paid all the bills. Like, seriously, that is disgusting to me.
Personally, I wouldn't have even told nobody shit. It's not my business or your business or the next person's. I don't know why y'all feel the need to put all of your private life in front of this fucking social media space. We do not need to know all of that. We don't. And you invite us in, I guess it's to help us feel more connected to you, but that's dangerous. And it leaves room for unhealthy speculation. Case in point, right here. That's a conversation that went on way longer than what this clip shows, but all of us haven't seen all of that. So it's hard to tell if there's more context to this than what we're hearing here. But I love, and I've said it before, how people will take certain clips and then they'll put it on display for the world to see. That's the most juiciest out of everything else, so that you can create these narratives. Now, whether or not you think that she was a gold digger or she was using that man for his bread, that's subjective. If you watched any of her content, you would probably have your own opinion too, just like I have. But I understand where she's coming from too.
Knock on wood, when my man passed, I mean, the last thing I'm gonna think about is, oh yeah, he was a good man because he paid all the bills. Excuse me.
By the way, real quick, if I can do this for a second, hold up. From what I just watched earlier, if you knock on wood, you are summoning demons. Yeah, I'm not exaggerating. I'm not trying to troll. It is actually demonic to use the phrase or actually do the gesture knocking on wood. Just FYI.
I don't understand. I don't understand. Your spouse passed, and the only thing you want to hyper focus on is what they did for you, not their characteristics. Am I the only one tripping here? How y'all feel about this? Of course, I'm not surprised. Of course, you know, you don't put nothing past Shera Sevens and her followings. And this is why when I first saw the post that he passed, my first thought was not Nagasa.
No.
Not Nagasa. Like, I was thinking, yeah, she lying, she capping. They probably, but like, again, of course, death is such a sensitive topic. I'm not going to insert my unsolicited opinion on somebody else's experience, their grief, or, you know, like, let it be. As I said, I wasn't even going to address this topic right here. But when she said he was a good man, I didn't have to pay any bills. Like, that's what you equate. That's the only thing you want to hyper focus on. A good man is a man who pay all the bill. Forget his decision-making skills. Forget his morals. Forget his characteristics. Forget if he's a good father or not. He just pay all the bills. You see them demons here?
Them gal are wicked, them wicked, them wicked. Them gal are wicked, them wicked, them wicked.
So I dived into the comment section and I saw MTR left a comment. Shout out to MTR. He said, rest in peace to the man. But remembering him as a provider tells us more about the contents of his character. Exactly. But you value him for being an ATM. Like, that's my thoughts exactly. Again, I'm going to acknowledge that it's just a clip. We don't know if she went into details on the full video. I don't watch her content to know. But the clip that's going viral is the clip we're going to discuss. How she is talking about, oh, he was a provider, I didn't have to pay all the bills after 20 years. Of course, the chicken heads commented on that. Somebody said exactly. And then a chicken head said, y'all say you want a submissive woman and get mad when we love to submit. What being submissive and just valuing him for his ability to provide got not anything to do with anything. It seems as though the only thing that they can think of from a man is his ability to provide. You to be equating a woman saying that her man who passed, her man of after 20 years was a good provider, and equating, and for her to even bring the arguments of, oh, she was submitting. I can't even articulate myself well.
Let me try to frame that for a second. For everybody that was in those comment section saying that he was a good guy and he did everything the right way, they basing it off of the fact that he spent all of his money on her. Period. How did she love him? What was her love language towards him? What did she do for him? How did she speak about him publicly? How did she carry herself and represent him publicly with her messages and everything underneath the sun? How was she holding him down? You know, all y'all could think about is, well, he made sure that she's taken care of. That's what a man is supposed to do. What did she do for him? I don't know. Like, that shit is disturbing to me. It's absolutely disturbing to me. And I can understand the question. It's just like, all right, why would you just say that, but you don't point out anything else that he was good for? Now, if you wanted to grieve in private, you should have just never said anything at all. But you brought it to the public after all of that time because you knew the people were nosy and you wanted to give them something to talk about. Messy. All the shit messy, man.
I'm not even going to edit out this part because y'all see how I just cannot comprehend. I cannot comprehend how she is submissive to his point of only acknowledge his ability to provide. So they equate being submissive to him being able to pay all the bills. So in other words, if you cannot pay all the bills, they won't be submissive. It's kind of like when Gabrielle Union was like, she knew she could cheat on her ex-husband when she made more than him. Like,
what?
Not be ever remarrying again.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. Fellas, just the hard, unadulterated truth, man. You ain't really valuable to nobody unless you have money. The small few that still look for those certain qualities, just is far in between. And they're not going to be millionaires and billionaires that's seeking it. And even then, it's going to be difficult to find it in a person at Arby's or CVS. Because we keep on conflating submission, love, reciprocity with what I can give you and get out of you financially. Again, I don't know what her dynamic was with her husband, but the way she always talked on these streams and things of that nature, I think people really got that shit twisted. I hate to say it, but I don't know. Maybe she was putting on a character for social media and she was different off screen, but to be consistent in how she was speaking, yeah. A part of me feel like she found a lick, she played her position, and she's reaping the benefits of it. And she's not moving on to nobody else because, for one, it would be impossible. Nobody's going to be checking for her after the content that she put out. And she's not going to be able to get over on the next person with that bullshit that she did with him. Rest in peace to him. I'm just saying. But I could be wrong. Ladies, we are not Wallace. We're not solely Wallace. We have beating hearts and emotions, and we bleed and go through stuff too. Just saying, man. Food for thought. But shout outs to the young lady here for speaking on behalf of the brothers, man, because a lot of y'all won't admit that there be some real effery going with these women and content creators that be trying to sell y'all on some shit that is imaginary.